something could go wrong, something could be misconstrued. So there's always like I'll just call it the thin red line that we got to walk on. A certain kind of decorum and respect must be shown at all times.
Right.
And with stuff like this, what can you really say? This kind of things just keep happening.
Yeah.
Now, according to who you want to listen to,
Oh my God.
there's about 275 of us that end up meeting this kind of end per year.
Yeah, and those statistics are hard to come by, right? Since they're not required to report.
There's so many of it. I mean, like you have the FBI, and then you have some other alphabet soup conglomeration of people. Some other think tank. They come out with all these numbers, and you don't really know what's what. All I really know is black men are getting gunned down and people are profiting off of it.
And mostly the news, it seems like. That and the Black Lives Matter organization.
Now, Antonio brought up a great point talking about, and you see what's come out about them in the past couple of weeks. No, they're not exactly on the up and up. But did you see the comments that Tamir Rice's mother made about them? It's really kind of infuriating how they got done dirty. The Rice family, that is.
Right.
But Tamir Rice, you're talking about the 12-year-old that was shot and killed by Cleveland police?
Like by the That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not going to bring charges.
Around that toy gun in the playground.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're basically saying they're not going to bring charges against the two police officers. One of the few core reasons why groups like the Black Panther Party were formed in the first place was to basically help fight against people getting beat up and killed in their own neighborhoods, you know? I mean, most other communities wouldn't stand for this kind of behavior. Like
right.
You see how these militia groups like storm the Capitol when they can't, when they're forced to stay in their house. Like, imagine what they would do if police came in their neighborhood and started killing their men. Like, it'd be an all-out war, right? Like, at least we're not like into that kind of stuff. But yeah, it says. Go ahead.
Now, if only INFAC was more organized, because what INFAC did and is doing and what they stand for, that should be a model for all Black folk who are interested in that kind of thing. I'm not advocating violence, but I am advocating a standard of treatment towards Black people.
Yeah.
That Black folks should not be in constant fear of police or anybody else.
Right.
And that there is somebody that they can fall back to if something goes down.
Right. Yeah, man, it's rough. What would the I'm curious, what would the military do if the same situation happened to between military and civilian in another country, like, and that's obviously wrong? Did they take that person to trial?
I'll tell you exactly what happens. The military pays out money. The government pays out money. The soldier is found at fault, usually in prison, stripped of rank, usually sent to Leavenworth in Kansas, and there's basically an apology tour. The U.S. government will ingratiate themselves to that government that may have been slighted. You saw that. I saw it happen in Korea when couple of soldiers got a little too rowdy with some of the Korean girls, and Uncle Sam had to pay up.
Man.
And the soldier got tucked up and touched up. That happened like at least 5 times in the year that I was there. Just 12 months. Wow. It was almost like there was a free-for-all. There wasn't any rules there.
Until there were.
That is one white guy there. There's like a 2-week. There's a 2-week thing when you're in country. You're not supposed to go out to the bars. You're not supposed to go out doing anything. This guy waits still 2 weeks. His first night out drinking, he's going streaking, and they don't find him till the next morning, naked, face down in a ditch. Do you know how embarrassing that is?
He was alive though.
The rest of the world laughing at us.
Was he alive?
This guy was on the same floor as me.
Oh, what he was just drunk and face down.
Oh my God!
What he was face down drunk?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was drunk. He was drunk and supposed to be a professional while supposed to be on work, on duty.
That's right.
So the military takes that stuff real serious.
Drunk, the drunker than the skunk, but skunk was an alcoholic.
Yeah, because you guys know my dad, the one that when me and Greg was kicking it, that was between the ages of 3 and 10. Greg is like the kid that your parents sent you down the street to play with the boy down the street at the house down the street. That's who Greg is. You know, before everything, I was hanging out with him because our dads was both from the Marines. My dad was Marine Sergeant, Marine Corps. So I was in boot camp, you know, and Greg could tell you when I used to get peed off, he didn't know. He didn't know. He knew my dad was strict, but my dad didn't come out. But when I used to get peed off, I used to run out. I'm not glorifying this, but I used to run out chasing after people with the rifle. And everybody be like, where that little boy get that rifle from? It ain't loaded. It was like it was just to scare the bullies. You know, Pops had already trained a young soldier.
That's funny. Yeah,
I got ticked.
I think I honestly think the bigger issue, unfortunately, is like you think about the neighborhood that Floyd incident happened in. Like, is there a really strong like that? You talked about the events in Korea. Like, they probably had a real strong community, right? Like those ladies that they were messing with probably had fathers or brothers or cousins or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's like a community of people to watch out. But like, if you don't have that, who's you know,
as you know of the Asian communities, they are very patriarchal. The man says jump, everybody else say how high. Our community is the exact opposite. I mean, we got the strongest bodies, but it's almost a strictly female mind. No disrespect to the females, but that's just what it is. So I've always been thinking, okay, a lot of the problems in the community starts with the home, and then it goes into the street. How many young gangbangers locked up admitted to psychologists that, one, they didn't have a father, two, they probably didn't have a mother that was worth anything, 3, there was no discipline, no rules, and they just ran around mad as lorries, as the old saying goes. That there was no structure, no consequences for anything they said and did. And that the gang in the streets was their home. And as all 3 of us know, the streets don't love nobody.
Nobody. It ain't no love out there.
No.
The game may be wicked, the game may be cruel, but it's fair that way.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'd say that's true. I mean, that's a component. I think you'll see it as that hopefully starts changing in the next few generations, because like if not, it's like lights out. There's no community left. I mean, we were talking about this before you jumped on, this idea that I was quoting the census numbers. Can you hear me? Okay, I'll just go continue. But the census numbers show that there's like a population of 42 million African Americans in the United States, right? And when you look at the statistics for the number of people in prison, there's only, in the federal prisons, I didn't count state, so I'm banking on the fact that there's not 40 million people or even 21 million people in state facilities. But anyway, there's 1.2 million people in prison total. That's the full population. 40% of that or more is Black. But that's still less than, whatever is 1.2. We'll just say 400,000 because I'm not going to do the math. Less than 500,000 people. That's less than a percentage of the 42 million. So this idea that most Black men are in prison, I feel like it's a fallacy that is pretty ridiculous.
That was something that came from the 70s and 80s, and it's been disproven so many times. It's not even funny. Now, I assume that all 3 of us are college educated to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all 3 of us.
I just remember always hearing that, and there was always the women talking down on all Black men at the same time, while picking the very worst of the men to get with and procreate with, and then turning around and thinking that the rest of us are going to clean up their mess. It's gotten to a point, and this is just in the UK for our Black brothers. 56% of them are going interracial.
Yeah.
31% in the US is going interracial. And we're just talking about the brothers who are in STEM and have advanced degrees.
Hey, that's me. Hey, hold on.
Guys.
Hey, hold
on.
We're
not even talking about everybody else.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, hold on though. I'm in STEM. I'm an electrical engineer, and my wife is Black. So just a FYI. Some of us don't stray.
Hey, you got a sister behind you, bro. Yeah, and that's a plus.
She's the best too.
Okay. Did that. Mm-hmm. Did that stat cause you to feel any kind of way?
Oh yeah, it made me feel bad. Made me feel like defensive. There's some of us.
It's just what it is these days.
Yeah. I mean, there's some other Black couples too. It's hard.
I just happen to be a lowly business major with a big mouth. That, I mean, still 84% of all Black people are married within the race.
Yeah.
So the interracial thing isn't as big as a lot of people tend to make it out to be.
Yeah, and it's okay. I mean, it's all good. We don't discriminate.
But if you want to bring down percentages, but then percentages,
it's really
get the 26% of Black men marrying out. Exactly.
For me, it's more of who treat me right. You
It
know,
all feels good when the lights go down. So
yeah, it's more about who treats me right, other than culture.
there you
You know, but I'm about the culture, but I don't try to view the world in black and white. You
Right.
know, so
Oh, I can't.
it's just it's just like I ain't trying to stick myself with no problem, but I'm trying to have a solution. You know, so uh, it don't never have anything to do with race, creed, or color. So you know, I look for it anywhere I can get it. I take it. Same with a friend. You
True.
know.
True. Yeah. It's big picture. Like it'd be nice if we could just get to that point where people are just human.
get it in.
You know, everybody's human. We all got the same parts, including minds and bodies. You know, same soul and spirit. What's next? Let's make this spacefaring race. You know, focus on something bigger. Forget about all this big